Matthew for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by
Ron Keel, the metal cowboy from the Ron Keel band, Steeler and Keel. Sebastian, thanks for the opportunity and the invitation.
It's great to be chatting to you today. Honestly, it's an honor, mate. I want to congratulate you on Keel World. How pleased are you with it? I mean, singles.
Man, I am extremely pleased with it. It's been out 3 days. Sales are great. That's part of it, but the reaction which we're getting from the media and the fans is very rewarding to me. I love it. There's a period of time. We worked on this album for over 3 years. I've been working on this project, and it seems like forever. And when you're working on it, you're taking it one song at a time, one track, one vocal, one guitar part. You get so wrapped up in it that it's just about the work. You got to finish the track and you got to get your job done. There comes a time, but it's called the honeymoon phase, is what I call it. After the record's mixed and mastered, and you can sit back and listen to it, enjoy it, and enjoy it with your friends and your bandmates. And that's the fun part, where it's just, man, you've heard, nobody else has heard it yet. And you realize, man, I do love this. I am very proud of this. This is a special release for me. And then you put it out and you start seeing the reactions, not only to the album as a whole, but to the individual songs and styles and the journey that we take you on here. For me, after over 40 years in the business, and I've done a lot of albums, Sebastian, with all of my bands and as an artist and movie soundtracks and so forth, I can't tell you how many albums I've been a part of. And they represent a chapter in your life. Like the Keel albums, each is one chapter of the Keel history. The Steeler album is a chapter. The Iron Horse records are different chapters. With Keel World, it is the whole story. It's the entire story of my life set to music.
A Steeler track then for 40 years. Can you tell us about that and the first Keel track as well?
Well, the album was going to be, I mean, of course, I want to write, record, create music. That's the drive that keeps me alive. And we went into the studio to record our next album. And it was going to be a Ron Keel band album. And my band can do anything. They can do metal and country and anything in between. It's basically a statement of my musical character and all the landscapes that I love to explore. And I went to dinner with a friend of mine, and he's sitting across the table at the restaurant and shakes my hand and says, "Hey, what's going on in Keel World?" And boom.
Yeah, man.
I had this vision. I said, that could be my next album. And we could have Ron Keel band, of course. But if we had a new Steeler song and a new Keel song and a new Iron Horse song, then maybe I could tell the whole story. So Mark Ferrari, lead guitar player in Keel, sent me a piece of music. We're all still dear friends with all these bands. These guys are brothers. It's family. It's the Ron Keel and Keel family. So Mark sent me a piece of music, and I fell in love with it. Obviously, it ended up being Moving Target, the new Keel track off Keel World. And the music was fantastic. Great riffs and great chords, and just a great, powerful Keel progression. I put the lyrics and melodies to it. And literally, it was a very quick process. I got on this mic, which is not my studio mic. This is my radio interview mic. But I was in a hurry to get behind the mic and try this song. So I got on this mic and literally wrote the song, one line at a time, into the verse, into the chorus. And I knew at that moment that we have a Keel song. This is a new Keel song, the first new Keel song in 14 years.
Wow.
And I kept that vocal, by the way. The vocal that's on the album was the first take that was done on this microphone because I didn't want to mess with it. It was like, this is special. There's a magic to this first take, but I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to fuck with it. So keep that take. And you've got a Steeler track. I mean, a Keel track. But now, to complete Keel World, you've got to have new music from Steeler, right?
Of course.
So
yeah.
I started looking through my notebooks, and I've got a stack of notebooks and phrases and lyrics and titles. And I'm looking through these pages, and I see the words, "Give me guitars" or "Give me death."
I love that.
I thought, man, that's just cheesy enough to be a Steeler song. And I've
Yeah.
got this riff, that opening riff that the song's built upon. And I thought, let's put those two together and see if it works. And it did. I built the music underneath the vocals
Yeah.
for Give Me Guitars or Give Me Death, because I write backwards. I write the words and lyrics and melodies first. Then I find music to put beneath them that will complement those lyrics and melodies, very much like
Yeah.
we do in country music.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized, okay, we've got a Steeler song and we've got a Keel
Amazing.
song. And
Amazing.
well, let's invite Iron Horse to the party. That was a big part of my life for 7 years. That
Uh-huh.
was my vehicle. 1,000 shows, 2 great records released from
Yeah.
2000 to 2007. Let's put in some solo material. This just shows me it's not the band thing. It's just Ron Keel, both full band and solo acoustic. And you add in the Black Sabbath cover of Children of the Grave, and you've got the full spectrum of music that I love, that really lets everybody know who I am and what I'm all about.
I love that version. I need to correct myself, right? I was supposed to do an interview with Phil Mogg today, but it's tomorrow now. And he's released an album with stuff that was unreleased that he hasn't done. I got
Oh
there.
yeah.
I remember.
Phil is a dear friend. I love that guy.
He's amazing,
and
man. Yeah.
whatever he's put out with Moggs Motel, I'm excited to hear it.
Amazing, mate.
Yeah.
All right, so excuse me. So yeah, your cover of Children of the Grave is absolutely amazing. So as the years have gone by, though, has it been difficult to not dwell and think, oh, that could have been me fronting Black Sabbath? It just wasn't to be.
I don't have time to look back, man. My windshield is really huge and my rear view mirror is very small. I don't have any regrets. I don't have time to look back and go, what if, what could have been. Life's too short for that shit, man. I've got stuff to do right now, today.
Yeah.
I got interviews. To do. I can't waste time thinking about, and I'm still, I was never fired.
No.
So technically I still am the lead singer of Black Sabbath. And we sent Tony the track too. I mean, I'm scared to see his response, but Tony's heard Children of the Grave, and I just hope that he knows that I am honoring the history and the legacy of the greatest metal band of all time. And I'm a fan first. So I certainly honor and respect and appreciate what Black Sabbath contributed to our culture.
Absolutely, and it is a fantastic cover. I want to talk to you a little bit about country then. I love some of your country work. Was that sort of like, did you think I could just go down this career now as a country singer, or was the metal always pulling you back?
No. It was at the time when this was a hard fall, man. In the early 90s, when we went from being rock stars and superstars and sports cars and all night bars and girls and the beach house and the money and the tours and the fame and the fortune and MTV and the cover of the magazines, all of that was taken away overnight. There was no more record deal, no more tours. And I had a soft place to land. I go, well, I guess this is done. It was obvious that it was over, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do next, but I knew I had to create music. The bottom line is I've got to create, I've got to sing, I've got to play. And you lose the band, you lose the Marshall stacks, you lose the lights and the smoke. All you got left is a guitar, man. And you sit and play guitar, and you write songs about real life, about, good times, bad times, songs about chasing women and drinking beer, but so we had that in common with metal. I mean, there's a lot of the same common ground and elements in that country music.
Yeah.
And I decided to pursue it as an art form. And it's something that it's a combination. You have to be born with it. I was born in the South. My dad was a country musician. I was born in Georgia. I went to Nashville, Tennessee when I was 17 years old. I've been around it all my life. It's been a part of me.
Yeah.
I love the Eagles. The Eagles are one of my favorite bands of all time. So it was part of me. But you don't just put on a hat and say, okay, I'm country now. It's not that easy. You don't just pick up a brush and say, okay, I'm a painter.
Yeah.
It's going to look like shit. You've got to learn the craft. It's an art form. You have to learn how to build those songs, how to sing them, properly, like you mean it, like it's coming from the heart, which has always been one of my specialties. Everything I do comes from the heart. And it
Yeah.
wasn't that I set out to, I just, at the time I wanted to create and write, and I wanted to get back on stage.
Mhm.
And country music gave me an ability to do that. And
Yeah.
then once I had an album's worth of songs, you've got,
Yeah.
10 songs. Okay, let's make a record. Let's make an album. And I put that out in 1995, and it became, a pivotal moment in my life and career when VH1 aired Ron Keel Goes Country. It was the biggest rated VH1 special of all time. I
Yeah.
was suddenly, I'm a traitor and I'm an outcast, and I'm still canceled. I was the first guy to ever be canceled back then,
Right.
because even to this day, the metalheads say, fuck Ron Keel. He turned his back on us, which is nothing could be further than the truth.
No, I know. Yeah.
I still have a metal heart,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
I have a cowboy attitude, and life's too short, man. Don't tell me what I can say. Don't tell me what I can play. Don't tell me what I can do or eat or enjoy. I'm going to live it up. I'm going to drink every drop of this wonderful life as if it were the last bottle on earth.
That's how you got to do, man. I mean, I've just thought about this earlier. I was 13, 14, when I first really got into metal in 1982, 83. And I remember your band so well. And yeah, you were huge. And then obviously grunge came along, fucked it up. I remember watching first time Nirvana were ever played over here in the UK, watching Raw Power. And I saw Smells Like Teen Spirit. I was like, what the fuck is it? And the thing is that you guys are still going strong. And it's so heartening to see that, someone like yourself, Faster Pussycat even, to say, they're still out there, they're still working. It's just so amazing to see, isn't it?
Well, we didn't kill ourselves.
Exactly.
That's one way to continue doing what you do, is just don't kill yourself.
Exactly. So having started out and getting really big back in the 80s, are you glad that you started then rather than today in 2024? I mean, it's...
Oh yeah, I was really lucky, man, to be in the right place at the right time. If you're starting out today, I wouldn't begin to know how to really make a career of it, or how to be financially secure. The reason that I'm able to make a living doing it does come down to the music. It's a great record. I mean, and we're selling a lot of these. Don't tell me nobody buys CDs anymore, because we're selling a shit ton of these. And Cold Sweat as well. That's also on our RFK Media label. And I've also got the record company, the radio station, KRFK Radio. I've got my Patreon, patreon.com/Ron Keel. A lot of stuff that I do from an entertainment standpoint, but it's all about entertaining people. I want to put on a show. I want to make people feel something, think something, have a good time, take them away from all the day-to-day bullshit for a minute and enjoy a song or a show.
Exactly. And I mean, I love the idea of the comic book as well as an album insert thing. I think that's fantastic.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm excited about that. We actually have a full-on Keel World comic book coming later this year, but I thought we'd take some of the iconic photos from my life, some of my best pictures from all these different projects, and turn them into comic book images. It's hard to see until you're really holding it up close, because there's a lot of detail in there. But I'm really proud of the booklet. It does tell the story. The captions for the comic book are some of my favorite phrases from the lyrics. So I'm extremely proud of how the whole package came out. But it starts with the music, and we've got a great batch of songs here on Keel World.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to get back again to the 80s. Sorry, man. I'm a bit obsessed with it at the minute. It's because I'm getting older.
Yeah, I get that a lot, man. I get that a lot. Now, the 80s for me, it was the best of times, the worst of times, because at the time, I was still learning my craft. I was young. I was 23 when Keel got signed. That's really young. I mean, at the time we thought we were, all grown up. We had a long way to go. I had a long way to go. And you can hear that evolution in those first 3 Keel albums, from The Right to Rock to The Final Frontier. It sounds like 2 different bands. And then from The Final Frontier to that third self-titled album from 87, you can hear the evolution as we grew up, as I grew up, and matured and learned how to sing properly, how to write songs, how to produce and make records in the studio. So it was a process that there was a lot of hard times back then. It's like going to college. I think. I mean, we were starving. There was a lot of it. it was a lot of great times, man. I'm not lying about that, but there was a lot of pain and suffering and, you know, a lot of bullshit, you know, bad marriage, uh, uh not a whole lot of money. I mean, at our peak, I was not making a whole lot. I was not making what I'm making now. Let's put it that way. So, it was, I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. I miss the ability to put on a 2 hour show as if I were an athlete. Now, what we do now is, and I'm 63. Uh, Now I
Looking
sing for
good for it,
free.
man.
Thank you. I sing for free. I
Yeah.
get paid to pretend like I'm still 25.
Yeah, man. So looking back on those days, what would you say was like one of the wildest things you ever got up to? Or do you have to swear on the fifth? Is it the fifth?
Wildest? I don't, man, you know, I bypassed a lot of that shit. Um, I never even saw heroin. I've
Okay.
never seen heroin. I know it's a drug, and I know a lot of my friends were doing it. Apparently, I didn't know. They never offered me any, or I was just wild enough to probably I would have done it. It never crossed my path. I guess I'm really lucky or fortunate for that. I mean, I was hanging out with, you know, the guys in Rad or the guys in Motley Crue, and they were, I guess they were all doing it, or at least they claimed that they were doing it. I never saw it, so
Right.
luckily bypassed that. I never was abusive to women. I and I got a bad reputation for it because it was all about the womanizing and the groupies and the sex and drugs and rock and roll. I would see these young girls backstage or at the hotel afterwards, young, you know, literally 15, 16, 17-year-old girls, 18. Some of them were only 17, as Kip Winger will tell you. Uh, and I would give them $20 and send them home in a cab
Right.
because I didn't want them to. This is not the place for you to be. This is not, you know, this the after party at the hotel. I wouldn't want my daughter there. You know?
Absolutely.
So I got a bad rap for that. You know, so the all the wild stuff for me was on stage. It was the excitement, the energy, the choreographed moves, and the smoke and the fists in the air, and all the excitement that we had. That's the
Yeah.
wildest time I ever had in my life. Was, you know, coming on stage at Madison Square Garden and kicking ass, and, you know, just owning that feeling and that room. Uh, I didn't have any car crash. Well, one car crash, just one car crash. That wasn't wild. That was just an accident. You know, so really, there's not a whole lot of dirt in my
Right.
story.
Okay. So going back to Keel World then, are there hopes? I know this album's only been out a couple of days. Are there hopes to sort of have Keel World Part 2 next year?
No, I just released this one, man. Let's enjoy it.
Fair enough. Fair comment. What about going out on the road then? Are there plans to even get over to Europe with this?
I am ready to go. I'm always ready to go. It is extremely difficult because I don't have an agent. I am my
Right.
own manager and my own agent.
Hmm.
And I am still a rock and roll outlaw. I am an
That's
outcast in more ways than one. And if it's going to get done, I got to do it myself.
yeah.
I'm road ready, and I want to continue to perform at a high level while I still can. I've got a great band behind me. We've been together 10 years. The Ron Keel band can do anything, and we do. All of the Keel and Steeler and Keel World music in the course of our show. We've got some big shows coming up this year. And as far as the future goes, we'll see what happens. I have flirted with retirement. That's a tough call for me because I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that guy, Rod Keel, who is he? The guy who I've never stopped. I've never slowed down. I've never,
I don't think
uh,
you
uh,
should.
you know, but at some point, I don't want to be that guy either who's choking or in a walker or a wheelchair. I'm not those guys.
No, I
They're all
know.
my friends. They're all my friends, and I love them and support them. If they want to go out there and tour and be on stage and be a shadow of their former selves, that's cool. I don't want to do that. I have to live with that last gig, whatever that last show is. That's like a soccer match or a football game to me. I have to walk off a champion,
Yeah.
and because I'm going to have to live with that last gig. And I still not whatever the last gig was. And my last show was really good. We've done some great shows this year. And after each great show, I think to myself, man, I should retire now. That's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
That's the cowboy in the barroom brawl,
Yeah.
riding off into the sunset with the girl. Let's just, say goodbye and take a victory lap. But I can't do that because there are still shows on the books. And I
Hmm.
think there's still gas in the tank, man. I still feel good. I'm still able to do a show that I'm proud of. And yeah, like I said, I'm pretending like I'm 25, but
Your body.
it keeps me alive. It keeps me young. It keeps me healthy. And I'm scared to lose that.
Exactly, mate. I mean, I spoke to Chris Slade recently of AC/DC, and he's still got the motivation. He's still getting out there drumming. How the hell he could? I'm getting arthritis, mate. I can't even do that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to see like people that are getting older are still out there and still got the enthusiasm and still keep going. But with
Yeah.
someone like yourself, Sebastian, back and that, when you go out into the street, you're obviously instantly recognized. So do you still have lots of fans and everything running around after you? Or is that sort
Well,
of
it is always a pleasure. It's not like the old days where you had 300 hot girls chasing after you and you're running down the street trying to get away from them.
I'll
But
be running to them, mate.
yeah, but it's still very it's an honor and a pleasure when you're out and people do recognize you. I live in a small town, Sioux
Right.
Falls, South Dakota,
Okay.
and we have 300,000 people here in Sioux Falls. And I am like the token rock star. And I go to the store and people, it's always a meet and greet when
Yeah.
when I go shopping. They have, where you been? Where you going? What are you doing? And well, even signing autographs. Hey, do you have any guitar picks? Can I have a guitar pick at the store? You're going to the yeah. So you always carry a few extra guitar picks to the supermarket.
Love it. That's fantastic, man. Okay. Obviously, I've known many famous musicians. So if you could have like a Mount Rushmore of four musicians, who would be on your Mount Rushmore?
Wow. And you have to cut it down to four
Oh, just four, yeah. Sorry.
rock stars.
Yeah.
You got to have Elvis,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to have Alice Cooper, Mick Jagger, and save the last spot for me.
Love it.
No, I can't carry those guys' luggage, man. That's not even cool. There's got to be that fourth one is really tough because Elvis, Alice, Mick Jagger. Uh, my goodness. There's so many that you could have a metal Mount Rushmore and a country rock, the Eagles. You could put all the Eagles. You got that Ronnie Van Zant from Skinner, right? I think
Yeah.
let's put Ronnie Van Zant from Skinner in the fourth slot. Oh, Ronnie James Dio, he's got to be there, right? Come on, that's
Yeah.
a tough one. That's a tough
Ronnie
one,
James
Sam.
Dio. Absolutely. Okay. So if there was like a made up heavy metal song about your, I know what the answer's going to be to this though. I'll still ask it. If there was a heavy metal song about yourself, what would it be called?
The Metal Cowboy. I should
That's
write
why.
that. Why haven't I written a song called that?
Exactly.
That would be too egotistical, I think, man.
Do it.
I probably should let somebody else write that after I'm dead.
All right. And so in years to come, then talking about that horrible subject, what would you like to be remembered for? Like, I don't know if there's still a world in 30 years' time.
No, I don't care, man. Your legacy is not. Everybody talks about your legacy. It's bullshit, because
Yeah.
in this day and age, they're ruining their legacy, and it really is. And I've known so many famous rock star friends who've died,
Mm.
and there's a cycle now, and it's just the short attention span of it's our modern culture, society. For about 3 days, you're a headline on Facebook, and then maybe once a year on this date, Ronnie James Dio passed away.
Yeah.
Ronnie's different, man. Ronnie does have a legacy. Um, I don't care. I really don't care if they remember me or not. If they want to enjoy my music and smile or put their fist in the air, dance or whatever, that's cool. I'm not here for that. It's totally changed from when I was a child, because when I was growing up, learning how to play classical music, and you're reading music off a page,
Yeah.
Beethoven, Chopin, Mozart, the people who created that music have been dead for 500 years. And I'm still here playing their music. Then to me, that was like immortality.
Yeah.
That was, man, if I play music, if I write songs, I could live forever too.
Yeah.
But now nobody reads sheet music anymore. So, and the digital age, all that, everything's different now.
Absolutely.
I would, I'd like to be remembered as a good person first. That's more important than being a good musician or a good entertainer. I was a good husband. I was a good man. I tried to do the right thing. He was a nice guy, and he worked his ass off.
Absolutely, man. All right. Going back to Keel World, how would you describe the album in 4 words?
Album of a lifetime.
Love it. Yeah, that's fantastic. I want to thank you so much for your time. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
Man, I want to welcome all the new fans. I think that's important because we've got a great army of Keelaholics who have supported me for decades, and that army continues to grow at patreon.com/Ron Keel. The key to my longevity has been to always be relating to younger people, young fans, making new fans, taking older folks who may not have known who I was back in the 80s, and now they're discovering us and me through Keel World and new products like this. Welcome the new fans. Thank you for taking this journey with me and with us, and to the old fans who have kept me in business and inspired me all these years. Thank you. You're my people, and I am your front man.
Bye.